All right, so you're thinking about a new graphics card here at the end of 2025. Well, let me tell you, you've basically walked into a minefield. The market is a wild, confusing place, and making the right call has never been more complicated.
You know how it is. The holidays are just around the corner, the biggest games of the year have dropped, and suddenly, that little itch, that need for more frames per second, it starts getting real, right? For PC gamers and creators, this is supposed to be the best time of year to upgrade.
But let's be real, it is an absolute minefield out there. You've got new graphics cards from every big company, benchmarks that seem to tell you completely different stories, and prices that feel like they're fluctuating by the minute. It's enough to make you just want to throw up your hands and stick with what you've got.
So what's the actual play here? What should you be buying? Especially when the deals we're seeing today might just vanish way sooner than any of us expect.
Okay, so before we dive into what to buy, we've got to map out the battlefield. You need to know who the main players are and what they're actually bringing to the table this year.
So this year, it really boils down to three main families. First up, you've got NVIDIA's RTX 50 series, which is built on their new Blackwell architecture, and trust me, it's an absolute powerhouse. Then there's AMD with their RX 9000 series using RDNA 4 to just crush it on performance per dollar. They are really aiming for the heart of the market. And finally, you've got Intel, who's making a really serious push into the budget space with their new Battle Mage cards.
But here's the thing, and this is a trap a lot of people fall into. Performance isn't just one single number. A card that absolutely destroys one game might struggle in another. It all comes down to what you play and how you like to play it.
So let's kick things off with traditional gaming, what the tech nerds call rasterization. This is just the raw, brute force horsepower that runs most of the games you play. And right now, if you're looking for the most frames for your dollar, AMD's RX 9060 XT is an absolute monster, especially with that massive 16 gigs of VRAM.
But the second you flick that ray tracing switch on, oh man, the whole story just flips on its head. In games with insane visuals like Cyberpunk 2077, NVIDIA's hardware just flexes its muscles. Cards like the RTX 5070 Ti pull way ahead, giving you a much smoother, way more immersive experience.
So you see the dilemma, right? The most important takeaway here is that there is no single best card for everybody. It's all about trade-offs. Are you a competitive gamer who needs every single frame you can get in traditional games? Or are you someone who wants to max out all the settings and see those gorgeous ray-traced reflections?
All right, enough with the theory. Let's cut right through all that noise and get down to some clear, simple choices based on what kind of gamer you actually are.
Let's break it down. Real simple for the end of 2025. If you're a high-end gamer gunning for top-tier 4K performance, you really need to be looking at an RTX 5080 or an RX 9070 XT right now. If you're a value hunter who just wants the most bang for your buck at 1440p, the RX 9060 XT with its 16 gigs of memory is pretty much unbeatable. And if you're on a tight budget just trying to get into PC gaming, Intel's Arc B580 is a fantastic starting point.
And look, it's not just me saying this. Big names like PC Gamer are echoing the same thing, calling the AMD Radeon RX 9060 XT 16GB, quote, the cheapest way to future-proof your rig with a surfeit of video memory. And that extra VRAM is becoming absolutely critical as new games get more and more demanding.
But, and this is a big but, all of this advice, it comes with a huge warning label. This is the reality for today, because there is a storm brewing on the horizon that's going to shake up the entire market in 2026.
The issue, and Tom's Hardware put it perfectly, is this AI data center gold rush that is, and I'm quoting here, sucking up every available silicon wafer. You see, the explosion in AI isn't just about cool software. It's a massive hardware arms race, and it's being built on the exact same foundation as your gaming GPU.
What that really means, in simple terms, is that these giant companies building massive AI farms are now fighting you for the same limited manufacturing capacity at the chip factories. They are all battling for the same raw materials, and that is creating a huge supply crunch.
And look, this isn't some far-off guess. We're already seeing reports that TSMC, the biggest chip maker in the world, is planning to jack up their prices for advanced chips by anywhere from 3 to 10% in 2026. And you can bet that cost is going to get passed right down to us.
But wait, because the whole silicon wafer fight, that's actually just the opening act. There's another, even more critical component that has become the real bottleneck in this AI gold rush, and it's having a direct impact on the graphics card you're thinking about buying.
So you're probably thinking, okay,
So it's just a simple supply and demand thing for the main chip, right? Well, not exactly. The battle for the main processor is fierce, for sure, but the real war is being fought over a very specific piece of tech that AI literally cannot function without.
Let me introduce you to something called high bandwidth memory, or HBM for short. Think of it like memory on hyperdrive. Instead of chips being spread out on a board, they're stacked vertically, one on top of the other, which allows for absolutely insane data transfer speeds. It is the secret ingredient that lets AI chips chew through massive amounts of data without choking.
So why the heck is this one type of memory so important? Well, AI models are just these incredibly data-hungry beasts. And traditional memory, like the kind in most of our gaming cards, it just can't shovel data into the processor fast enough. HBM opens up a superhighway for data. And now, every single company building AI chips is in a frantic rush to get their hands on as much of it as they possibly can.
And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. Because even though your next gaming card might not even use HBM, the companies that are desperate for it are tying up all the same advanced manufacturing lines and engineering talent that's needed to produce all high-end computer parts. This AI boom isn't some separate industry. It's a rising tide that's about to lift the price of everything.
Okay, so what does this crazy global tech war over AI parts actually mean for you? You know, the person who just wants to play their favorite games without any stutters.
All right, let's wrap this all up with the key takeaways. First off, GPU prices are pretty decent right now, but they are almost guaranteed to go up in 2026. Second, for pure, raw gaming value without all the ray tracing stuff, AMD is an incredible choice. Third, if you want the absolute best ray tracing performance or you use your PC for creative or AI work, NVIDIA is still the king of the hill. And finally, the biggest thing that's going to decide the price of your next graphics card won't be a new video game, it's going to be the unstoppable worldwide demand for AI hardware.
So as you're sitting there thinking about your next big upgrade, just remember this. That massive global battle for AI supremacy, it's not some distant headline anymore. It's reaching right into your gaming budget and influencing the cost of your favorite hobby. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Will your next PC be a machine you built, or is it one the AI